Cool. So whenever you guys are ready.
There we go.
So it's recording.
Oh, already?
So.
Oh, wow. There's no script, so it's natural.
So natural, guys. Like.
Hi, Rock. How you do? How you do? Okay. Need to make sure that I put this away. Anybody want to refill now before we get up? I'm good. I'm out. So, yeah, wow. Are we gonna do a sound check? Let's zero it in and let's hone it in. We're talking about it a little bit from a global perspective, and let's put Zim and maybe Africa, like right here, on the table, and we look at how we buy clothes and how we view fashion and how we consume as producers. You know, it's like when you go into the shop and you buy groceries, immediately they want to give you a plastic bag. They want to give you many plastic bags, right? Yeah. And to say no to a plastic bag, the cashier doesn't see that as a positive thing. Because it's price effective and they're like, we're trying to make money. And so when you're like, oh no, I'm not going to take that because I'm going to take, or I'm going to carry it and put it in the car. They're like, oh, you're a cheapskate.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I think when we view things in like a circular motion, I think sustainability is a circle, right? And so, whatever you are in the value chain of a product and in the life of a product, there's many processes before and there's many processes after. And I think if we don't make the effort to educate, and this is on a global scale, everyone on sustainable life in every sense of the word, if we can't change the perspective of people to recognize that how we behave now will affect us in 5 years, in 10 years, in 100 years. And that's going to be a very difficult thing because naturally, I was watching a video, I think it was one of those explain type videos, and it was talking about money, and it spoke about retirement actually. And it's like, it's difficult to convince young people to save for retirement because they don't relate with their older selves as them. And I think it's the same concept of us not being able to relate to the earth that will be in front of us in the future as ours. And the moment we can kind of go full circle and we can bring what we do today to the next 100 years, that will be the moment that we do better than the generations before us, and we can sit down and we can be like, we didn't hand over a worse place than what we found.
Act, it had been said that big companies needed to have something that they started as a means of taking care of the communities within the areas that they do business. So Bulawayo was a good place because the Meikles name started in Bulawayo.
Okay.
So they wanted to have a mill there. So that's how it started. There was a weaving side and a spinning side.
Okay.
So the part where we've now sold is the weaving, but the spinning side is still there. And instead of us as Meikles running the spinning side, we've now gotten tenants to buy some of the old machinery and bring in their new machinery and revive the spinning side. So the spinning side is actually operational as we speak.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. However, so what happened was, after running it for a couple of years, the company went into liquidation because of all kinds of environmental plus economic factors that then caused there wasn't enough cotton being grown in Zimbabwe to give us the raw materials needed to continue the business, firstly. Secondly, there wasn't just enough market for the sale of whatever produce was being made from the factory. So then it went into liquidation, and after it was liquidated, then we as Meikles Properties took on the whole thing, but only for the fact that we are a company that deals with buildings. So we bought it for the value of the buildings, but it came as building and all its contents. Yeah, so we then had to, unfortunately, during the liquidation process, we had to then terminate the employment of all the employees we had, which were again part of that whole indigenization thing. We had to hire predominantly local staff, and it was then also part of an employment share scheme that was there, that they actually owned shares in that company. But then that all had to be terminated through the liquidation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So the weaving side, there was adequate machinery and trained employees to run that factory. So everything was done after it's been spun, and it's now usable cotton. It was then transported on the other side of the road to the weaving. They would weave, dye, print, all done in that factory.
Because so many people have asked, why should I care? Like, why should I buy organic, be textiles or like handmade earrings?
It's more expensive.
It's way more, like, I personally cannot afford most sustainable brands. I mean, except for like, second-hand and vintage one, which is another element of sustainability.
Yeah.
But when I look at some of the brands that, let's say, make a plain white t-shirt, it's maybe triple the price of a normal t-shirt. And whilst I believe in whatever they're doing, because I really want that life, my bank account does not agree.
Right.
So then the question with most young people, which are the future of tomorrow, is, first of all, why should I, agree to this thing? Like, what difference does it make to me now? And that's the question of, they don't relate to their version of themselves in the next 50 years. And also, second thing, it's not really easily accessible. I think with sustainable designers, they're so conscious and slow that sometimes it's hard to, discover the existence. And also, it's not, I'll be careful when I say this, but I think you guys understand. It's not easy to wear. It tends to be crazy. Like, it's like, it's upcycled. I think now it's starting to be more wearable.
Completely basic and
It's
devoid of personality.
The trend.
Yes.
It's not fast fashion. It's not a trend. It's not.
Can I wear to work? Can I wear to school? Can I wear to church? No, not really.
I mean, usually the people who can comfortably, naturalistas, can comfortably pick up the minimalists.
Exactly.
Products. And then like fashionistas can pick up the upcycle. Anybody who's in between is just kind of.
The majority, like that is maybe 6.5 billion people.
The world is not good at fashionistas and minimalists. It is not.
That is nice to look at, but I'm not going to pay for that. So we need to tackle all of these things, and I mean, I don't think anyone has the answer, but the main question is, why should the consumer care?
Right.
But also, if you want your consumer to care, like, also when you're designing, are you designing from a point of you also being a consumer? Like, can you also wear that?
Right.
Or can you also use that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, then you can't expect other people to kind of understand.